I'm coming back to Portland, and when I get on the plane, all the wrestlers are on the plane. Ric Flair, Bray Wyatt, Kane's on there, Sheamus, Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam. I go there and look, they're all on the plane, and what I realize is Monday Night Raw, this is a Sunday, Monday Night Raw is in Portland tomorrow, Monday night. So these guys are all coming. They come in from Australia. They caught a plane in L.A. They're connecting to Portland. So this is a big deal for me because I'm a wrestling fan. So I sit right behind Jericho and Sheamus, and I shoulder tap, and I introduce myself, and Sheamus gives me the blow-off, and Jericho couldn't have been a cooler guy. He's like, hey, you know, what's going on? And he doesn't follow UFC. I was just dude on the plane that shoulder tapped him, which there's not many things more annoying than that, particularly when you're tired and you're coming in from Australia like they were. But I'm a huge fan, and I just told him, I said, man, I'm happy I'm sitting behind him. My name's Chael. Big fan. So he and I hit it off, and everything ends up going cool. So I try the same with Sheamus, who gives me the no sell. And I lay a gimmick out for him. And it was essential. I said, man, I got an idea for your gimmick. Now, I was kidding. I'm looking to say hello and break the ice. This is my way of letting him know I follow your career a little bit. But I lay a gimmick out for him, and it was essentially what Akeem the American Dream did. Okay? The whitest guy on the planet. This guy makes white guys not look white. He's so white. Are you? I mean, you know Sheamus. So I tell him I think he should do a gimmick where he comes out as a black guy, like Akeem did, where he was claiming he was from Africa. I was stealing that gimmick, but I think you'd be the first to defend me. That's largely what we do with gimmicks now, right? They've all already been done. We just kind of got to recycle them and change them. But I pitched this whole thing to him. I'm pitching different things, you know, that he should tell Triple H how we should go about this, how far he should go with it, and he tells me, he looks over his shoulder, and I'm being funny. The whole routine I'm giving him is fun. I'm on fire, and I can feel it. He looks over his shoulder, and he goes, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll give it some thought. He then pulls his hat down and puts headphones on. And it couldn't have been obvious. It could not have been more obvious that he's saying, hey, dude, shut up. And I get it. Okay, fine. And I did. But I'm mad about it. I'm mad to this day that he no-sold me so hard on a gimmick that's not a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea now. He's getting over with what he's doing. But someday, he's going to need to make the changes.
Exactly.
Okay, he's not Hulk Hogan. He can't just go throw a black and white shirt on instead of red and yellow and everything's solved. He's freaking Sheamus. He's a dork.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's a nerd. He's getting over now, but eventually he's going to need a gimmick, and I gave him one.
Yeah, and I think down the road he's going to remember that conversation on that airplane with that little annoying guy.
That's right. Down the road, he's going to need this. Now, he may not go that route, but he will have to mix it up. He'll have to change it. And I'm mad. I'm sitting on the plane, and I'm not a bully. I'm truly not, Vince. I know it's our first time talking. I'm not. But that doesn't mean that I don't get these fantasies at times. So Sheamus no-sells me. He's got all his buddies with him. I'm by myself, but I feel like I know these guys, okay? And some of them I do. I know Rob Van Dam, and me and Jericho are pals, but I haven't met most of them. And I'm excited because Flair's on the plane, and Flair's drinking, and it's 11 a.m., and I'm texting my father-in-law, hey, I'm sitting behind Ric Flair, who's on his third cocktail. And my father-in-law loves it. He's into Ric Flair. He follows wrestling, follows fight. He knows all about it. You know, he good. Get him another one. Get him a four. Buy him one on me. So, at any rate, I'm sitting right behind Sheamus, just directly behind him. And now I'm mad. And I happen to have one of those shavers, you know, like a guy could shear his dog with or something. I've got it in my bag. My bag's in the overhead, but I can get to it. And there's a stunt on Jackass where they will go up to a guy, they'll just shave a freaking part right out of his head. Like as quick as you can get the buzzer on there before the guy realizes it, which is still enough time to take out about an inch by inch square. And I'm going to shave Sheamus. Because he no-sold me, because he big-timed me on the plane, I'm going to buzz his hair, and he's not going to do anything about it. And I'm going to film it. I've got the whole thing worked out. Vince, I'm going to tweet this out. I'm going to get myself over at Sheamus's expense. I have the whole thing, all because he no-sold me.
You couldn't have just, like, flicked his ears or something like that and get that on camera?
No. I had to belittle him. Now, I'm glad I didn't do it. This would have been wrong. This was wrong. But I felt wronged when he gave me the snub after my right? I'm performing this bit for him about how and I'm making sense of it. You know, I'm bringing up Akeem. I'm citing wrestling history. I'm letting him know that I know a little bit about it. And he gave me the cold shoulder, and he almost lost a chunk of his red hair, which I know for that guy would have been like the most detrimental. This would have just been a nightmare for him.
Well, two things. First of all, you do know, the biggest rib in the wrestling business among the boys is when they're on trips, and so you as a wrestler, you rarely can fall asleep because the number one rib is if you fall asleep, your eyebrows are going to get shaved.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, I got to ask you this now: for your next UFC fight, did you do the black guy gimmick?
No, I there's something
bro,
to
listen,
that.
If you're going to give a gimmick to a professional wrestler,
Yeah.
you got to be able to go out and do the gimmick yourself.
You just turned the gun on me. And you're right. Now that you're making me see the glass from the other side, I guess you're right. But I will tell you, I was the first to admit, I don't know that he should have taken the gimmick. I'm just saying he needs to open his eyes that he's a young guy in a career that's getting over with very little, and at some point he's gonna need a gimmick. And that's funny. That was funny when Akeem did it, before the world's in this new politically correct, and this would like shock everybody. Now this is entertainment, right? I'm not in entertainment as much. Now I do like to entertain, and I'm still on camera, and I've still got to keep people interested. But for the most part, I'm not in entertainment. So that's going to be my defense to you for not taking my own advice. How do you like that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, if I ever get a shot, in wrestling again, if I'm ever writing in wrestling again for a company, whatever that may be, you need to keep your eyes on the product, because now, if I have any say-so, you may see that gimmick come into fruition.